So, I have good news and I have bad news. Let's start with the good news. What if I told you that we have the answers to the world's most pressing questions, the most urgent problems of our time, and we have the answers? Here's the bad news. If we don't start acting now, we are heading towards a point of no return, full of disastrous outcomes. Climate change and the collapse of biodiversity, which leading scientists are telling us is happening today. A growing socioeconomic divide between so-called rich and poor nations and individuals. A world so divided that the bridges we would have to build will have to be humongous to close. If we don't start implementing answers, we are heading towards a world only known out of dystopian fiction. I know that's heavy, but hey, we have the answers. In the middle of everything that's happening around us are people, you and me, and we all play such a tremendous role in shaping the world around us. The question, however, is, in how far are we aware of the role that we're playing? And do we really understand the impact that we create on a daily basis, across borders and beyond generations? We are pretty damn powerful, for good and for bad. In 2015, I had no idea what role to play. I didn't even know there were roles to play. And hadn't I been in a city like Berlin, I wouldn't be where I am today. A city of contrast, a city of movement, a city of rich, poor, plain, eccentric, a city of innovation and opportunity. And here I was, 28 years old, in a job I hated, a long-term relationship that ended abruptly, no friends, no family. And in those moments, you kind of have two options. You sob or you go on. Obviously, I first cried like a baby, but then I went on. And I had always been interested in the topic of gamification. So I did a course. And I remember so crystal clear, education and gamification. And I thought to myself, oh my God, why is learning so boring? Why are schools so dull? And everything changed. I quit my job, lived off my savings, and I pretty much reached out to anyone I knew that had something to do with education. I reached out to politicians, to founders, to teachers. I volunteered in schools, I went to EdTech meetups, I did the Berlin thing, I founded a startup, I got accepted to an accelerator program, and I was so determined, I'm going to revolutionize education. 8 years later, way less naive, but still with full power, I can tell you with 100% certainty that the answers to the world's most pressing questions lay in you and me and the role we play in shaping the world around us. Now, you can find out this role through a crisis, but there's another way, and that is education. Here, let me take you on a thought experiment and explain to you why education. When you were all born in a society you did not choose. When I was pregnant, a dear friend told me she noticed the magnitude of being a parent is when she realized that this kid never got asked to be born. You decided it for him or her. I didn't get it back then, but boy, do I understand it now. We are born with complex instincts and a set of genetic inheritance and other biological factors. We are then taught to act by our peers, societal and cultural norms, and the world outside. The more active we become, the more consequences our actions create, the more we start co-designing the world around us. One of the guiding institutions while growing up for our personal journey and society as a whole is our education system. And yet, I can promise you that our current education system is failing to prepare students for a fast-paced future and the irreversible crisis it holds for you and me and future generations to come. The focus here is on the transformation of our education system, because the answers will not come from our current education system. Let me tell you a short story about our current education system. When I was 8, and yes, that's a long time ago, but it's still the same education system, which, by the way, says a lot about where we are right now, because a lot has changed since I've been 8. But anyway, when I was 8, my family and we moved from the States to Germany, and I was really bad in German. My teacher back then went to my mom and said, "We will not give little Mieke any grades in German until she catches up with the others, because A, it will discourage her, And B, if we don't give her the individual support that she needs, she will have problems getting into grammar school, which is decided in grade 4, which is a precondition for university later on in life, with 8. A highly standardized system, full of individual potential, and in the middle, children, all with their own challenges and talents. Our education system is 150 years old. It was designed to find answers for the industrial ages. But look where we are now. As we're moving from an industry-based to an information-based societies, our education systems must adapt. New questions are being asked and new answers need to be found. There's a famous quote that basically goes like this. We are currently preparing students for jobs that don't yet exist, using technologies that haven't been invented yet, in order to solve problems we don't even know are problems yet. Let that sink in for a moment. And the crazy thing is, some of the problems we're very well aware of. So the question really is, why is it that the effects of humans on climate, nature, biodiversity, society as a whole is not an integral part of everyday education? And why is it, or maybe even more important, why aren't we teaching students and lifelong learners the tools for them to understand the impact they have in an intricate, fragile, and connected system? So much potential that is being lost. Everything is changing around us through technological advances and the issues of our time. Yet the one institution that remains the same is the basis of our society and shapes future leaders, change makers, politicians, consumers, bypassers, scientists, inventors, and so on. How is anyone supposed to find their role in an outdated system? I wish I had more time to explain to you how this change needs to happen. But I can promise you, there's amazing people out there that are implementing solutions because they found their role within education. But we are running out of time because solutions being implemented today should have been implemented yesterday. If there's one thing I want to leave you with today, if you are a policymaker, step outside of your comfort zone. There are solutions and they need your attention. Not just within education, right? For everyone else, actions are based on the information you receive. What you do with that information is up to you. But it has always been the next generation that has shaped the stories for the time coming. So the question really is, what role do you want to play? And I want you to go out here and know that you have so much power to create impact. You are pretty damn powerful for good and for bad. So let's use it for good. Thank you.